Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Monday to you. Take a look at this here. Discounts across the board. We got nice sales here today, specifically with Bitcoin. I hope you're setting your limit orders there. We swept the majority of all the liquidity that we discussed here previously, so we're going to take a look at that. And if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. I hope you can learn something today. I do have a trading academy, community, and signals group linked down below if you're curious. So here's the last, let's start with the last 7 days of liquidation. In fact, let's go ahead and refresh this here just to be on the safe side. Make sure we got the most relevant and recent data here. And we take a look at the last 7 days, we can kind of see, we've talked about this previously, but that level at about 62,500 was the most recent liquidity level that we saw swept. Over the weekend, of course, price comes all the way down as low as 60,600. That's almost exactly where every single last bit of liquidity was in the last month. Okay, so again, not a surprise. This is very standard stuff. As soon as the Asian market opened last night, the market just completely dumped. Okay? They've been pretty good about, or pretty consistent about, pumping or dumping the market on Sunday evening. So just be mindful of that. If you're trading weekends, you always want to be careful with that. So simply put, we swept all the liquidity levels there. There is some more new liquidity at about 55,000. We'll discuss that as a potential area of retracement. And in fact, before we go any further, let's take a look at the last 3 months just to get perspective here, see if there's anything else that we might be missing. Okay, and again, there is still a lot of liquidity there, about 55.6 upwards about 57,000, rounding up a little bit. So we could just say 56 to 57,000 is that heavy concentration of liquidation on the downside. And keep in mind, 60,000 is a notoriously strong support level, but if we lose that, it would make sense to sweep that lower level before the price takes off again. Okay, so just some heads up on that. It's not definitive. Just because there's liquidation doesn't mean the price just goes that way, but we've known this for a while and the price continues to retrace, absolutely doing what we expected here. Okay, so having said all that, let's take a look at the daily time frame, work our way down, see what's going on. So the easy way to understand it here on the daily time frame is that we've broken below this ascending trend line. This implies that we are now bearish. All right, now it doesn't mean that you just shift your mindset and start shorting everything like crazy. It just means that you got to be mindful of the fact that the price action can continue lower, and that it would make more sense for it to do so. Now, if you do take a look at TD sequential here on the daily, it is counting up pretty high. All right, so again, we were previously at a 9, never got a full amount of consolidation, and we've retraced even further. So hypothetically, we call that area of retracement there at about 66,000, that support range. We call that a good consolidative effort. We've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now 7 strong red days to the downside. So hypothetically, we've got a couple more days left, and then the price should bottom out and or retrace back to the upside. So that's kind of the general consensus. Now, if we take a look at this here, we're now under 30 on the RSI. We haven't seen this in some time from Bitcoin. I mean, last time we were under 30 on the RSI was August of 2023. And I have to actually zoom all the way in and down just to see that time frame. And that is right here when Bitcoin was at 26,000. Crazy, right? 26,000, no less than a year ago. And yeah, things have totally changed since then, right? So anyways, the whole point of mentioning that is that being below 30 on the RSI, while you'd expect the price just to instantly recover, it doesn't necessarily do that. It's basically considered a resistance level now, and we got to wait for it to break back up above before we consider any shift in momentum. MACD is still diverging, in fact, stronger now. Stochastic RSI is also swinging down. Everything is truly bearish on the daily. And if we do take a look at the moving averages here, the 200-day estimate is at last line of defense, and that's right there at 57,000. We've also got a previous support level at 56,500. That is the most recent candle wick down back in May on the 1st. So roughly 2 months ago, we saw 56,000. The price action hit that level. So me personally, I'm excited to see these kind of prices because I'm setting larger limit orders as the price goes lower. Okay? That's essentially what I'm doing. Again, me personally, I like to invest in Bitcoin long term. That's just my thing. And it may not be the same for everyone. I'm not telling you to take a high leverage long position at 55,000 if we even get there, but roughly, that 56 to 57K is that potential area of retracement. That would be that 1.0 area there to retest the most recent low. So again, hypothetically, this could be just a very aggressive double bottom coming, again, hypothetically. Let's jump out to the weekly just to quickly get perspective here too, because the weekly candlestick has closed. We want to recognize that we're bearish here on the MACD. Stochastic is still swinging down. We're over 50 on the RSI, so hypothetically we get a bounce at 50, and the money flow index comes down as low as 20 or 30. That's usually a good case in point where the price action will recover. we're a ways off from that, but the truth here is that we lost the 20-day SMA and this ascending trend line, so we are absolutely moving towards some lower price action. So really at this point, the weekly just kind of gives us perspective that we have definitely shifted momentum. Taking a look at the 4-hour here to kind of fast forward with what just happened with this transitionary time frame. What we want to recognize here is that we've seen some pretty aggressive candlesticks here. First of all, this candlestick is pretty strong. You take a look at the amount of, what is it? Here we go. What is it? $1.1 billion sold in 7 minutes on Binance futures alone. Okay, now that doesn't constitute the rest of the market, but that's a lot of movement in a short amount of time. That is a liquidation candle. That liquidation candle swept all this liquidity here that we had left remaining on the 1 month time frame. Okay, so just to clarify, we're looking at the 1 month. I talked about this previously. That lower level of liquidity absolutely got destroyed there at about 61,000. Okay, so anyways, that's roughly where we're at here. Now that we're here, what does this mean? Well, let's take a quick look at the 4-hour and recognize that we are below 30 on the RSI, as well as money flow index being absolutely bottomed out. We haven't seen this in, I don't want to say forever, but we could literally zoom out and probably take a long time to find the most recent time frame this happened. Okay, so this is the strongest bearish divergence we had. Even the last time we came down as low as 56,000, it wasn't this strong of a downtrend. So what does that mean? Well, that simply implies that strong downtrends do have a tendency of recovering, but also bottoming out. And what I mean by that here is that, there's a good chance with us getting this low, we will see somewhat of a relief rally here soon. It's not going to be phenomenal by any stretch, so be careful taking long positions. But we do take a look at TD sequential, for example. We're at an 8 now. We've been moving 32 hours straight in the same direction. That's quite a lot of momentum, considering we were at 64,000 not too long ago. Okay? So again, that may not seem like a lot, but from top to bottom, that's about a 6% correction in the last 24 hours. That's not good. Okay. Anyways, the whole point of all that is just justifying the fact that we should start to bottom out here relatively soon. My speculation is 60,000 would be that area of support. That's that 0.786 fib level here. 59,800, I just round up, say 60,000. There's a strong chance we're going to see some kind of bounce off that area considering how well we've come down and how fast. Okay. Again, relief rally would make sense, but by no means do you take 60,000 all the way to 70,000, get super greedy and just hold on for dear life. I mean, you can hold on for dear life, obviously, with a spot trade, but not with a high leverage trade, okay? Even low leverage may or may not make sense. We still probably want to be a little patient here and wait to find out what's going on first. Hourly time frame last but not least here. Everything's really bearish. There's nothing here telling us that we're in good shape. When we take a look at the TPO, we can clarify that the most amount of control here for the price action is 61,300. So closing above 61.3 would tell us the bulls have control of this last price at this last trading session, and that would be extremely positive to be able to have that type of momentum going into the end of the trading day. But truth is here at this point, a closure anywhere below 61,300 would confirm that we're more likely to see 60,000 than we are to see the price action recover here right away. So my anticipation is that by the end of today's trading day, we're going to have a better consideration of what's going on, and at that point, it might be recommended to, if you're going to take a long, a very tight profit targets, if you're going to take that. If not, that's okay too. Different strategies, of course. We took some nice profits here from Bitcoin, 55% in 6 days for a Bitcoin short, and I think we shorted from 67,000 down to roughly 61K. All right, so again, we got greedy in that sense because the market's been showing a lot of bearish divergence, but there's nothing in the charts right now telling us the price wants to recover. There are some outliers, of course, some altcoins that are doing fairly well today. And of course, if you're not familiar with that, I do send out those updates through Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. So anyways, I hope this was helpful for you. Thanks so much. What helps me a lot is if you hit the like button, comment below, and obviously if you want to consider joining with Bitunix, phenomenal exchange, link down below. These guys are awesome. Just make sure you take advantage of this offer before the end of the month. Even if you have used my link to register in the past, it's important to recognize that you get this nice benefit. Thanks again. Either way, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Take care. Thank you.